Hi folks, this is Vivek from Delhi Law Academy, and today we're going to look at a common type of logical reasoning question called coding and decoding. So what is a coding decoding question? Let's look at a sample here, and this is only one of several types, but as an illustration, let's just go through this. So it says in a certain code, desirable is written as this string of characters. How is dimension written in this code? So this is a typical question. We'll come to how to solve this in just a moment. We'll also look at several other types of questions, but before we get there, let's go over some basics. So some tips on how to solve coding decoding questions. First thing is alphabet positions, knowing them forwards and backwards. So when I say forwards, what I mean is when A corresponds to 1, B corresponds to 2, C to 3, so on all the way to Z to 26. And similarly, knowing it backwards. So A is 26, B is 25, C is 24, Z, all the way to Z is 1. Now why are these useful? Because you'll see that in several codes, the alphabet is translated into a number, and that number is usually derived from its position. So you'll see that in a code G might be 8 or it might be 6, and you'll know that it's because G is actually 7 and some -1 happening. If this sounds confusing, don't worry. We will be seeing a question of this type in this exercise. The last thing that I'd like to go through before we start solving questions is knowing that it's also possible to see series of opposite alphabets. So A would be replaced by Z, B would be replaced by Y, C would be replaced by X, etc., etc., all the way down to Z being replaced by A. So I just like to keep these in mind before we start solving. Alright, now we'll look at a few common types of example questions, and the first type is the type that we just now saw. So it says desirable is written as JTFEQFMCB, and so how is dimension going to be written in that code? So the first step is to just write down these two things, what we're given. So desirable, and we're just going to write this down, and we're going to write the code for it below it. So we have JTFEQFMCB. Alright, now how do you solve these? This is a common trick, what I'm about to tell you. What you do is you break it into two halves and leaving the middle character out, right? So we broke it, the first 4 characters, the last 4 characters, and we left the middle character out. Now look at the corresponding characters below, right? D, J, E, T, S, F, no particular pattern that I'm able to derive. But if I look at this, if I look across, right, then I see a pattern. I see D to E, I see E to F, S to T, and I to J. So there's a +1 going on here. Similarly, let's look at the last 4. Now A to B, E to F, B to C, and L to M. Again a +1 going on here. How about R and Q? Here there's a -1. So it looks like the pattern is the first 4 are mirror imaged of each other, and there is a +1 switch happening. Ditto for the last 4, and the middle character there's a -1 going on. Now we know everything about the code, so we can code dimension. Dimension, and when we write down this, so the first 4, the last 4, and the middle character. So D becomes E, E becomes F, I becomes J, and M becomes N. Just the next character, guys, just the next character after this one. Now so F, N, J, and this is supposed to be E. F, N, J, E. So already we can cross out choice D and choice E, because it looks like we are going to get an answer here. Now how about the last 4? So N becomes O, I becomes J here, O becomes P here, and S becomes T. So the last 4 characters are O, P, J, and T. So it could be either B or C. All we have to decide is what is the central character. We know that we should be replacing this N with something that is just 1 character before N, that's M, and so your answer is C. Okay folks, so now after seeing that question, now let's look at another type of question, and this one says in a company to maintain foolproof security in message transferring, they were using code language. If the word slumps is coded as this string of digits right here, how will they code the word instruct? Okay, so here what we need, and the hint here is to look at the fact that slumps is coded as a series of numbers. So the fact is that we're going to be using the alphabet positions. So it's useful to know this table. I've just copied it down here. You won't be given this table in the exam, but I have copied it down here to make it easy to solve the question. First thing, so what are the character positions, right? So S is 19. So I write that down here. I've just taken the liberty of writing down the code beforehand to save some time. So S is 19, L is 12. Just looking at the table, all right? So U is 21, M is 13, P is 16, and S is again 19. Now what happens to the code below? We see that this has become 20, so there's a plus 1 here. This has become 11, so minus 1, 22, so again plus 1, 12, minus 1. So it looks like there's an alternate plus 1, minus 1, plus 1, minus 1 going on. By that logic, this should be a plus 1, and it is. We see 16 becomes 17, and this should be a minus 1, and it is, because 19 becomes 18. So now we know the code. We know how to code it. So we just need to write the code for instruct. So we write down instruct, and we know the alphabet letters, so it's 9, then 14, and then S is 19, T is 20, R is 18. I'm getting this by looking at the table, guys. So R was 18, I got that from here. T was 20, I got that from here. Now I reached till R, so U is 21, C is 3, and T is 20 again. Now I just need to do my plus 1, minus 1. So I get 10, 13, and hold on, I paused right here. I paused right here because if I want to solve really fast in an exam, I should be looking at ways to cut down my solution process. And I see that there are only two options that start with 10. So I can cross out choice C and choice D immediately. There's only one option that has 10 and then 13 after that, and that's choice A. So my answer is choice A. I already got the answer. I didn't have to solve the entire thing. I didn't have to write down all this. I already got the answer. Okay, now it's a different type of question, guys. So in this type of question, it looks like you're being asked how to translate in a fictitious language. So the question says, read the following codes carefully and answer the question. First sentence, milk is white in color, coded as 52360. White represents peace, coded as 379. Milk contains calcium, coded as 248. What is the code for the word color? Alright. The way to solve such questions is to look for common words. Alright. In sentence 1 and in sentence 2, the common word is white. Right? You have white here and you have white here. Look at the digits. There's only one common digit, and that is 3. You got a 3 here and a 3 here. So you would be okay if you said white is equal to 3. This is fair to say. The order is not important, right? In this white is the third, so it turns out to be the third here. In this white is the first, it turns out to be the first here, but you cannot conclude that that means that milk is 5. You really can't, right? And as we'll see in a second, now we look at 1 and 3. The common word is milk, and the common character is 2. So it turns out that milk is actually the second character. So milk is equal to 2. You can say that. Here is the second character, here is the first. So all you can say is that you found out which digit represents the word, but you really can't say anything about the position. We are being asked the code for the word color. Unfortunately, color is there only in one sentence. So in this question, the answer is D, cannot be determined, because you don't know of 5, 6 and 0 which is the code for the word color. So the answer is D, can't be determined. Alright guys, so another type of question. In this, we are being told if in a certain language entry is coded as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and steady is coded as 9, 3, 1, 7, 8, 5, then what is the correct code for entr? So in these type of questions, this looks similar to a question type that we saw earlier, but the hint is the first word is simply 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's no logic here, and you shouldn't try to find the logic either. all you have to do is assemble your target word, which is endear. You have to assemble it from what you have. So you note that you know the code for E, you know the code for D, you know the code for A, so you just have to assemble it from these words. So you know that E is 1, so you write down 1 here. You know that N is 2 from here, so you write down 2. D is 8, E is 1 again, A is 7, and R is 4. So this is a different type of question, guys. We didn't try to guess the logic. We didn't try to see how it is coded as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All we did was we observed two things. One, that the code is really simple. It says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So probably we are not supposed to guess. Second, we saw that endear, the target word, can be assembled from the characters in entry and steady. These were our two hints that we should apply this method. So the answer is C, 128174. Okay guys, so the last type of question for today in this video, if go is equal to 32 and she is equal to 49, then how much will sum be equal to? Again, coding, but a different type of coding. Here we are going to use the alphabet positions, but we're going to use them backwards, right? Backwards is important here, where A is 26, B is 25, and so on. Now the scheme used is really simple. I just put down what the code is. So G is 20, so I put that down here, and plus O is 12, and that's 32. So the scheme is really simple, guys. The trick is to guess this, and in the exam you shouldn't really start guessing there. The secret is to practice more at home, so that when you get to the exam, all you'll see are just types of questions that you can recognize and solve immediately. So similarly, SHE, she, S is 8 from here, H is 19, and E is 22. So I'm just going to write those down. 8 plus 19 plus 22, and that's equal to 49. So now I know how to code sum. So again, S is 8, O is 12, M is 14, and E is 22. So if I add these up, 22 plus 14, 26, 36, 38, 48, 48 plus 8, 56. That's my answer. 56, which is choice A. So the answer is A. Alright guys, those were the common types of coding questions. Thanks for watching. This is Vivek at Delhi Law Academy. Do visit our website and keep watching our videos for more tips, more sample tests, and much more content to come. Thanks again.